Today is May 7th, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topics are protests against Hua Chunying and the recall vote of Kaohsiung Mayor Han Kuo-yu. And first, let's talk about the protests against Hua Chunying. She's the China's foreign minister spokesperson. And you know that U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said yesterday that WHO Director General Tedros has the right to invite Taiwan for Taiwan's participation in WHA. Hua Chunying, in a press conference, fired back, claiming that the Chinese central government has already dealt with Taiwan region's participation. Well, I want to protest. Taiwan is not a part of China, and Taiwan is an independent country that we call ROC, Republic of China. So why Hua Chunying says something about what she said, central government or Taiwan's region? Actually, whether Taiwan joined WHO or WHA is a decision of 194 member countries of WHO. China does not own the right to control this by shouting one China policy. WHO's principle is to support these kind of health-related issues, not the geopolitical issues. So why is this related to the one China policy? Second, the recall vote of Kaohsiung Mayor Han Kuo-yu. And it is on the June 6th. Han Kuo-yu will face a recall vote. Whether he will be recalled or not is a strong index of a Taiwanese people's attitude toward China. There are 3 points to observe. First, if Han Kuo-yu is removed from the office, he will make history. Why? Because he will be the first person who ran for the presidential elections 5 months after he was elected as a Kaohsiung mayor and removed from office 5 months later after he lost the presidential election. The word Han Liu, was created when he was really popular. I want to explain to you what is Han Liu. Han is his last name, right? Han Kuo-yu, his last name is Han. And Liu is like a wave or tide. So he is removed. If he is removed from the office, then this Han Liu really fade away. Second, if Han Kuo-yu is removed from the office, what will be the main reason? Well, I think it is because of Taiwanese people's distrust and dislike the communist China. Once there are more than 50% of Taiwanese people support Han Kuo-yu, yet after he went to the liaison office of the Central People's Government in Hong Kong last year, his poll continued to drop. And when the Hong Kong people protested the extradition agreement in June last year, his approval rate was, way surpassed by Tsai Ing-wen. Third, what will happen to KMT? Well, that would be a question, like what I said before, because KMT recognized the 92 consensus, which means one China, two interpretations. So KMT now has no market in Taiwan. If Han Kuo-yu is recalled, then KMT will be losing the big city in south of Taiwan. And also, I would say, winning the next presidential election will be much more difficult. And what will happen to Taiwan in the future? I'm certain that Taiwan will continue send up this message to China. Taiwan is not a part of China, and Taiwan has a right to participate in any international organizations, such as WHO. Here are the top stories. Today, we have one confirmed case, an imported case from Qatar. Now, let's take a look at the WHO's press briefing. Wall Street Journal reporter asked the question. He asks, Dr. Tedros, would you encourage the member of states and particularly China to allow Taiwan to attend as an observer this year? I understand that you probably have the authority to invite them yourself. Would you do that if China continue to resist their participation? And what's really funny is that during the press conference, when he asked the question, Tedros was kind of stare at a desk like this, stare at a desk, and with no response. Then the host said, oh, thank you, and I'm sorry, I didn't introduce our guest here, Derek Wharton, who is the legal counsel of the WHO. I think he would like to take this question. Then WHO legal counsel Derek Wharton immediately answered. He said, the involvement, if any, of observers from Taiwan, China. What? Taiwan, China? What is Taiwan, China? In that assembly, is a question for the 194 members of WHO. Indeed, a proposal has already been made. And he also said that whether or not Taiwanese observers participate in the WHA, there are well-established arrangements for health experts in Taiwan, China, to work with WHO on technical health methods. Look at this guy. I can't believe that. He really said Taiwan, China twice. What is wrong with him? He doesn't dare to say Taiwan of China or Taiwan, common China. But I want to tell you, Taiwan is Taiwan. Taiwan, there's no phrase like Taiwan, China. Give me a break. On the other hand, we really want to thank U.S. support. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that, I want to call on all nations, including those in Europe, to support Taiwan's participation as an observer at the World Health Assembly and other relevant United Nations venues. He said, I also call upon WHO Director General Tedros to invite Taiwan to observe this month's WHA, as he has the power to do, and as his predecessors have done on multiple occasions. 5 diplomatic allies sent proposal to WHO regarding the issue of Taiwan's status. The 5 nations are Nicaragua, Palau, Eswatini, St. Lucia, and the Marshall Islands. They wrote letter to WHO, and this is the content of the letter. Well, what is in the letter is that the continued exclusion of Taiwan from the WHO undermines the interests of its members and endangers global health. So WHO should grant Taiwan full access to all of the meetings, mechanisms, and activities, and to invite Taiwan to participate in its decision-making body, the WHA, as an observer. Now, the White House made some moves in the past 24 hours. U.S. President Donald Trump said that coronavirus pandemic has hit the United States harder than the Pearl Harbor in World War II or the 9/11 attacks. And he said that we went through the worst attack we've ever had on our century and on this country. And this is really the worst attack we've ever had. He said it twice, kind of emphasize it. And Donald Trump's administration press secretary, Kelly Maroney, also said during the press conference that the United States and China relationship is one of the disappointment and frustration, and that the president has said how frustrated he is at some of the decisions of China that put American lives at risk. Now, talk about this TV station. New 10 Dynasty television host Jasmine, she interviewed former White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon, and she asked, can you confirm one way or another if such a scientist from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, actually there's such a person who came to America? And Bannon just replied, he said, I will say all of you will see that all in due time. I receive threats from the Chinese all the time, and that's one of the reasons I have security. I receive threats all the time from Chinese. He also emphasized it twice. Well, except for that, I want to talk about the National Palace Museum. National Palace Museum in Taipei is very famous, but they announced that the visitors numbers for the month of April have dropped by 99% compared to the same period last year. But I want to say to all of you, hang in there, and we will go through the tough times together. You know that there's no problem in Taiwan. We still have the social distancing. We don't have the lockdown, and we can go shopping, go to a restaurant, and do whatever we like. So that would be the view for today. I'm Catherine Chang. I'll see you tomorrow.